Well, hello everybody and welcome to Metaworld News for the week ending May the 6th of 2018. Yes. This is a show where we bring you news about social virtual worlds. In other words, online spaces where you can communicate, collaborate, create, do just about anything you want. We don't normally cover games. They are much more sort of specific type of thing. But we also have a look at any breaking new technology, haptic devices, etc. that, may be important for the future, interfacing with said worlds one way or another. Anyway, I'm Mal Burns. I'm joined also next to me here by James Outloud. Say hello, James.
Well, hello, James.
Yeah. That's.
There we.
I was asking
right.
for that. I asked for that.
I heard it and I had to say it. So.
Fair enough. Right. Careful when you're talking live. That's what I can say. Okay. You can follow me on Twitter, by the way. You just go to twitter.com/Malburns. That's MALBURNS. And that is the main feed where I post links to sort of various sort of articles, news, and technical and stuff that you might be interested in throughout the week. There's also twitter.com/Metaworld News, as in this show, which does contain some other links, which are often more to do with events and locations in specific worlds, and particularly on the hypergrid, which connects the open sim worlds together. Okay, so let's get down to nitty-gritty, i.e. my choice of the items from those very feeds, starting with the Mal Burns feed, of course. Now, a couple I think I included last week, so I'll just re-announce them in summary. Mozilla's Hubs is the one-click VR meeting space we've been waiting for. Find out more about that at rhodesvr.com. Basically, Mozilla have brought a rather nifty thing online where you go to a website address. They immediately give you a virtuality room and they give you a link to it so you can invite your friends to meet you in it. And if you like playing Robbie the Robot, great. But you can talk too. So good stuff there. Right. Apple have their own head-mounted display research continuing, apparently. They have been given a new eye tracking patent. Eye tracking is not new, but the one that Apple apparently have got a patent for is presumably new, or they wouldn't be applying for it, would they? By all reports, we're talking about the year 2020 before Apple actually bring out anything on this front. So their head-mounted display ideas and stuff do seem to be playing for the longer term a little bit, so to speak. Right. Let me see. We will now flip back a page. Right now, almost the big news of the week. I guess this was 4 days ago. The Fastball company had a thing called F8 conference or something where they've been announcing all sorts of stuff. You'd almost think the scandal with Cambridge Analytics didn't exist, the way that company seems to ignore it these days. However, they did announce a new model of Oculus, and this is called the Oculus Go. And the subtitle is Standalone VR, Price for the Masses. There are two, basically it's advertised as, $200. That's a 32 gigabyte version. For $250, you can get a 64 gigabyte version, the gigabyte being the storage, basically. That storage space is used for apps and stuff like that because the device itself doesn't have any cables leading to your computer, and it doesn't need your smartphone stuck to your nose to actually watch anything. It is a simple headset with everything you need built in. Apparently, its weight is reasonable. It's lighter than some other headsets, maybe heavier than others, but bearing in mind that you don't need to add weight in terms of a heavy phone or whatever. The reviews are very good. Even apparently the stereo sound that is built onto the strap, so that it actually conducts through your bone on your head rather than through your ear. Even that is said to be very good, and it leaves it free for you to actually put your own more nice headphones on without, easily. Because there's nothing in the headset itself that's already using your ears, if you see what I mean.
That's really interesting, because I just looking at it, I thought it didn't have any audio, but that's great, built into the strap. Clever.
Yeah, there's if you look at that picture, I have to say it is deceptive. It looks like just another headset, although well, it almost could take a phone, you can't see the slot. But, no, there's apparently even the Uncanny Valley business has been sorted. Apparently they've gone for some kind of LCD sort of frames for the eye sets that gives you a slightly wider field of vision. But the sub-pixels are actually not as good as their slick versions. But apparently the fact they're not as good has been a bit of a godsend, because it cancels out something about like an empty hole at the edge of pixels or something. Having not worn any of this stuff, I'm not quite sure what it's about, but apparently sometimes you can actually see gaps between pixels or something on the high-end ones, whereas the way the system they've used for this model is on the surface cheaper and easier, but it actually doesn't suffer from some of the problems that the high-end
that's great.
visuals do. It's LCD as opposed to OLED or something like that. So anyway, at the roadsvr.com, Ben Lang again has a nice review of that. Reviews have been popping up pretty much all over the place, I hasten to say. So go figure. Now, I've actually said, that I will never get into a headset, but given the price of this, given the fact I don't need anything to go, it's not a contraption, I can't see that I would necessarily be averse to, spending $250 on something that I can just put on and off without worrying about cables or overheating my phone. And apparently you can download apps into it, as if it was, an iPad or something. It's totally compatible also with Android and iOS, plus PCs and Macs and everything else. I'm not sure exactly why it would be compatible if it's standalone, but there you go. You can certainly plug it into other devices for transferring files and apps and stuff like that. So, interesting stuff. I presume this will work with Open Simulator, Second Life, and things like that, because it has one of its modes is effectively like giant screen TV. So you can watch TV on a big screen because you're wearing the screen, if you see what I mean. And that's actually been one of the biggest take-ups of headsets outside of gaming. So they've obviously thought of building that in, and I guess any piece of software, whether it's designed for 3D or not, will work as a big screen in your face experience. So maybe I can come here and look at our studio as an in-your-face big screen experience with Oculus Go. We will find out. Anyway, that, I guess, is the main news of the week. Obviously, a lot more announced by the Fastbook at their conference too, but not within my remit here, as it were. Okay, we talked about Mana Decentraland last week, didn't we? Yeah, Global Coin Report. Sorry, and the Disney jacket we've already covered before. So let me just flip in the right direction here. Right, digitaltrends.com. That's all one word, digitaltrends.com. 8 amazing accessories that could make virtual reality even more immersive. Just a roundup article, nothing particularly new in it, just a roundup of various accessories that you can get. that could make your bog standard virtuality, because after all, it's all cliche bog standard nowadays. It's all stuff in it, virtuality. So, this article tells you about 8 accessories where you can recreate the spark of virtualities by adding an accessory. Yes, great fun. Right, Oculus Rooms. Now, apparently this will work in the Oculus Go, but basically Oculus Rooms is a thing for the main Oculus, what's it? And it's getting an update, ready for the Oculus Go launch. Oculus Rooms is a thing they came up with for a social kind of metaverse, in the Oculus camp, the Fastball camp, really. After watching Ready Player One in theatres, I'm more convinced than ever that the secret to VR success is going to be establishing a go-to social metaverse for people to easily and quickly, etc., etc. ... Read more about that at uploadvr.com. That's upload VR letters, but spelled as all one word. Uploadvr.com. Right. Now, apart from 8 accessories you can look at, we've got 3 radical new user interfaces. This is actually a post from Ray Kurzweil. It is kurzweil.net site. I'll spell that for you in case you don't know his name. It's kurzweilai.net. And basically, it's a roundup human about. I think I actually mentioned this last week. I think this has been one that's been shoved at the wrong place in my list. But basically, talking about holodeck style holograms, telehuman with and which allows objects to appear as stereoscopic insides, as if you were inside a pod, and various things on that front. So since I did mention it before, I'll leave it at that. But you'll find kurzweilai.net is where you go for that little article. And how VR brings real benefits to the real estate industry. Again, no, this was this week, 4 days ago. Another post from uploadvr.com, uploadvr.com. Just looking at the way VR is being used in real estate. Okay, Voices of VR. Oh, sorry, I take that back. I've goofed. I have goofed. Right? This is podcast number 36 of a completely different podcast. This is psychologyofgames.com. Psychology of Games podcast. The site you need to go to is quite literally psychology of games, all one word, .com. And if you can't spell psychology, then I'm not going to read it out for you. You can look in a dictionary or go back to school. Right. The title of this podcast is Psychology, Escape Rooms and VR, and going all sorts of basic places. And it also involves chess, if I've got this right. Nice little picture that goes with this, by the way. It's a sort of composite picture, all sorts of stuff in it. Right, moving on. A couple of days ago, the Fastbook have teased photorealistic avatars for social VR. There's no stopping them, is there? This post is at uploadvr.com. Among the many updates to its work in VR given at F8 this week, they teased photorealistic avatars, which look very promising. And obviously compared with the Oculus Rooms or whatever it's called, which have improved a bit over the course of time. The quest for photorealistic avatars and presumably the Uncanny Valley continues. So they're working on that. And Space-Time Enterprises indeed. They're going to use VR to bring people to space. This one, let me just turn the page there. No, I'm going to open this one while we're on it. Very curious. This is like a double function VR. The idea is that you'll be able to literally drop in on people in space stations and spaceships from good old planet Earth using VR, but also, of course, the VR will be a great import to what they're doing as well. VR might happen in our lifetime, but accessible, affordable space tourism might not. At least not anytime soon. But in-space missions and Rewind want to use AR and VR to bring us closer to being an astronaut than ever before. Spacetime Enterprises is a UK-based initiative here that will see multiple satellites launched into low Earth orbit. All the satellites will be fitted with cameras capable of broadcasting images of space in real time, and even overlaying information such as meteorological systems, atmospheric phenomena, celestial bodies, and more. Down on Earth, we'll be able to view these images in VR, allowing us to visit miles above our own planet without ever having to step out the front door. So basically, this won't be a virtual world. This will be a virtual orbit around a virtual world. Yeah. Won't it? Except it won't be a virtual world, it'll be our world. Gosh golly, this is exciting. Eat your heart out, Google Earth. I'm just going to beam myself up in my Oculus Go and check in on the astronauts bopping around up there and what their weather conditions are. And see how the anti-gravity misbehavior is going on. It could be great fun up there, couldn't it? Yep. That's, I'll remove documents. What? Remove. Sorry, another one of Windows. I'm sure everybody knows by now that there was a new version of Windows arrived during the week. The usual downgrade was actually quite a major downgrade. Well, I don't know what to say about it really. Let's say the removal of home group networking was a long overdue step. I mean, whoever actually used it. Apparently, by removing it, it just integrates into normal networking. Problem: where is the normal networking? Everything can connect to the internet, okay, but none of my Windows machines have any idea where any other one is. In other words, the individual machines on the local network don't seem to know what's what and where anymore. They can't talk to each other. Anyway, good one, Microsoft. How did they get away with it? I don't know. Anyway, coming back to down to Earth, that is where I'll be able to go up to orbit and check out the behavior of astronauts. Yes. Sorry, let me flip back again. Right. Next item, uploadvr.com yet again. Vivid Vision and University of New York partner to treat lazy eye with VR. This is to do with lazy eye treatment. Yes. Now, believe it or not, I'm no expert on these things. I'm about to find out what lazy eye actually is, if I can. Basically, Vivid Vision, a company who are using VR to treat sight disorders. And let's see, they're going to get to use a patented system invented by somebody called Benjamin Backers. College of Optometry, joins as chief science. It uses eye tracking technology, VR fans know all about this apparently, to stimulate binocular vision in the retinas of both eyes, teaching neurons to work together. So they believe that eye tracking is integral to the next generation of treatment tools for binocular dysfunction, such as, if you want to go and read this article and a fan of medical terminology, please feel free. I'm not going there, that's for sure. But interesting stuff here. They've raised $2.2 million US already to get on with this business of eye treatment. Ryan Schultz .com, that's RyanSchultz.com. Often appears in my other feeds. It has an article up yesterday, in fact, about virtual reality in the treatment of depression and anxiety. And he admits that he actually was suffering a bit in that area, and found virtual worlds to be of, or actually donning a virtual reality headset, in fact, was of some help there. So you can find a little article about that at his site, ryanschultz.com. And finally, I think it's finally anyway, high-resolution virtual reality and augmented reality headsets announced. This is yet another post from Ray Kurzweil at KurzweilAI.net, KurzweilAI.net. And obviously he covers Oculus Go, since he wrote this after that was announced, but also looking at various other things too, and the future, I guess. Where are we? Which? Oh yes, making it a point that 2,560 by 1440 pixels is the resolution, by the way, by the look of it, for the Oculus Go. Come and think of it. I don't think I caught that on the other review. Right, and the importance of things like Oculus Rooms, social lounges where friends as avatars can watch TV or movies together, or basically share other experiences. So Ray Kurzweil there. And that actually is it for that particular feed. So that all those articles you will actually find at twitter.com/Melbourne, so at least you'll find the links to them there. And I'm just crossing over to the other feed, which is for Metaworld. And yes, it's about to behave. Sorry about it. It's about to behave, he says. Guess what's about to behave? It's WINDOZE. I
think you missed a W.
Right.
Oh, no. I see what you're saying. O-Z-E. I get it. Took a minute.
Dozy. Right? Windowsy. Yep. So yeah, I love you, Microsoft. You no end to the human mistakes you offer me. Right, when I'm in a good mood, that is. Right. Ryan Schultz, I just mentioned. He also had another post. It's about a week ago, looking at intellectual property and copyright issues in social VR worlds. Ryan Schultz again, RyanSchultz.com. You always find a number of interesting things there, so don't just look at that article, a few others. Let's see, Medium.com. Leighton Marjoram is a sort of traveler around the hypergrid worlds in particular. Has a sort of blog at Medium.com. medium.com, and as I say, his name is Leighton Marjoram. In case you don't get, you will need to look him up, won't you? A little slice of Norway. He's done an article on a place called Tromsø, which is located, in fact, on the Great Canadian Grid, even though it's a sort of little slice of Norway, as they say. Right, 4 days ago. Sorry, I'm just having to flip through these because no, it seemed to be okay. I was a bit worried that they'd gone and played silly buggers with my order again. Oh yes, and okay, I'm gonna have to. Okay, another kind of world combined with, I think, blockchain. Hang on, I better load this video, or whatever it is. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to some background music.
Nice.
An open world in living VR. Oh, this is right. Okay, this is good. This is VU. You can go to www.vutoken.io, and you will get a little preview of this. How do I get out of this? Somebody, Windows. How do you get out of this, Windows? Oh dear, oh dear. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm stuck.
As in,
Right,
as
home.
in froze. Oh, okay.
There we
Right.
Okay. Well, there you are. What wonderful day this is. Glorious sunshine in the UK, and you get a news program with a soundtrack. Wonderful, wonderful indeed. Yeah, that was a bit special, but yeah, basically that was yet another virtual world to look at. Okay, I'm going to get out of this mess hopefully by heading over to what it says my post, which will actually be over at Google Plus. Right, an illuminated Safari, hgsafari.blogspot.com. So as Remember's roundup of Safari this week, starting at the Tangle Grid Expo, which is a fashion one. There is a new one coming up shortly, which has to do with farming and various other things. I did have a graphic for that for this show, but thanks to Windows, whose networking facilities no longer work, I couldn't upload it. Oh, dear me. Right. And yes, they're having a look at the new Ruth Mesh and a few other things too. And then they went over to Sanctuary Grid to tour the Ivory City complex. Where are we? That was 4 days ago. No, these are just repeats of this show and others. So nothing much new there. Okay, well, it looks like I've reached the end of the things that are actually particularly active in our news. Now, James, you actually, just before we came on, you actually pointed out to me one of the ones that I probably have a habit of missing, which is Lenovo. Apparently, you probably know a bit more about this. I'm looking at the post at variety.com. Lenovo releases, this was May the 4th, right? First standalone Google Daydream VR headset with a VR 180 camera. I know you follow this stuff quite a bit. You've got a, what is it, the Windows Mixed Reality?
Yeah,
one,
I do.
haven't you?
It's the Samsung version. Yep.
Yeah. This looks interesting, but basically it's a standalone. In other words, no cables, no phone required, but it's a variation of the Daydream from Google. And given that Oculus Go has come out at $200, $399, i.e. $400, let's face it, for this seems a little excessive.
Yep.
I
would,
agree.
yeah. It's you know, I mean, it's really interesting that these things came out so close together, both being really the thing being free of wires. But I think it just shows how busy the VR market is again. Again, this is one you don't need to slot the Android phone in to use. It has built-in processor, built-in screen. Now this one, since we were talking about audio with the Oculus Go, I don't see that there's audio on this Daydream headset, but yeah.
Oh dear. I noticed it does have 2 cameras.
Yeah,
on the
that
device,
is
doesn't
different.
it? For tracking
Right,
the
for
road.
this, you know, we had the 360 videos we talked about quite a bit in days past, and you know the mixing of the terms VR is a 360-degree video virtual reality, and of course I would be inclined to say no, but a lightweight version of the 360 video is the 180 video. And so in conjunction with this headset, Lenovo also released a little camera that kind of looks like it looks like an old Instamatic with two lenses on it to record the 180 videos in stereo. Stereo vision, right? Forgot.
That's surround vision away. Yeah, that's an interesting idea. I mean, the only difficulty with these, it's like virtual worlds themselves and the walled gardens. Each of these devices has, curious things. Now, what do? You take 180 photos of your friends and family, and put them in the device to have a look at them and capture memories. But you can't. It's not like a traditional photograph. You can't send it to anybody else unless they've got the same headset to kind of look at the experience in. But I have the impression that this resurgence actually is, Facebook were very upfront about this, is that our outside gamers and, experiences with Vive are getting the market for, I think, out of the home experiences. Most people that were picking up things were picking up cheap models like Daydream stuff, and they were using them for the big screen TV experience rather than for anything to do with virtual reality. So their focus in Oculus Go was to make sure they could bring something that was super affordable to people to give them that experience. So presumably on the basis that if enough people decide to buy them instead of a television set, then maybe they'll, when they get bored of watching programs, they'll actually open a VR app and actually do some real VR with it. So I don't know that we're really getting the resurgence of interest in VR. I don't know it's gone away, but I don't think it's getting any greater. I think what's happening is with all the investment and the hype, people are looking for, tricks to expand the market that really didn't expand to the extent they probably hoped it would when they started coming up with all this stuff. And for Facebook, I mean, particularly it is, I really dread that they will run a future metaverse, the same way they run, people's homepages these days. Quite. But they're canny. They're arrogant. They don't seem to care whether any implications of what they do or anything else, and they just carry on regardless, even when they get into trouble. So go figure. But they do seem to have I would say a totally long-term, but certainly a longer-term view on all this, where their Facebook rooms are really amateur-looking sort of things, and they only work with headsets for now and stuff. But they're doing these gradual improvements, and now they're talking about photorealistic avatars. It's almost as though they're making slow, plodding along their own way, to incorporate more and more things that are in that sort of Facebook field of philosophy, as it were. And clearly they've got the money to launch things like this. I mean, I doubt if it would have been very hard for any other manufacturer, or rather software company really, to have launched, I'm sure, something like the Oculus Go, because they've only managed to do that by totally refining the parts, but also mass manufacturing. This would have been done en masse at that price, which would have been a gamble. Certainly. But who other than Facebook could I don't know, manufacture 1 billion items at once to get the price down? I don't know. I don't know the figures, but I think it's probably a very clever move on the Oculus part, right? Daydream was fine for what, it took the Google Cardboard thing and elevated it to a slightly better level, but it was still only Daydream. It wasn't HTC Vive or anything else. This Lenovo one, I don't know. Well, as soon as I saw it based on Google's Daydream platform, I thought, God, out of date already. Because of the phrase Daydream, which is a much sort of middle entry thing that fell between the old cardboard devices and higher end devices. So I don't know, but anyway, it's certainly an extra link for people to look for there. The link, by the way, I said was at variety.com. I don't have this in any of my posts. James has just given us it. So it's actually /2018/digital/news/ Lenovo Mirage bar bar bar. So if you can actually do the slashes to get to the news section of the digital section, then the keyword Lenovo, I think, might get you to the review of this article. And the actual headset itself, by the way, is called Mirage. So it's the Lenovo Mirage, and it's described as a solo headset with VR 180 camera.
I think the camera's a separate device, though, Mel.
Ah, okay.
The two lenses on the front of the Mirage headset are for orienting in the room, the inside-out way of tracking head movement.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, that is true. That is true. I don't know why it's just the L that mentions camera release. So
and I think both products are named Mirage, but to further, it's a platform.
Well, who knows what these things are anymore? It reminds me actually that one other drawback I didn't mention, I'd forgotten, but it was pointed out, is that the motion tracking of the Oculus Go. You can apparently most of its motion tracking is centered on horizontal movement and moving the screen with you, and apparently looking down or up is very limited in the Oculus Go. In other words, all the tracking tends to be a matter of surrounding you, looking right, left, and panning in and out rather than actually looking up or down. Apparently something goes a bit glitchy when you look down. There's somebody who points out that if you do look down, unlike some headsets, it's not an exact tight enclosed environment. You can actually sort of see out, probably around the nose area. And one of the reviewers actually approved of this. They said it's really refreshing to be able to actually see out of the immersion, even if it's only a tiny pinhole. So, go figure. Okay, well, I think anything else occurs to you over here, James, or are we done?
No, I don't think so. I see that my dog is getting agitated, so I'm on the slider. If he starts to bark.
Yeah, you're on the slider, ready to mute. Yeah. Oh, well, he or she is giving us a subtle message about get yourselves off air and take me for a walk. A fat chance if it was in England. It's too hot to stand up, let alone walk. All right. Best. We love it, really. It makes a change from all that snow. So, never know what tomorrow brings there. Snow one day, some sunbathing weather the next.
What
Go
could
figure.
be next?
What could be next? It's an exciting era we live on. I don't know. I think it's something to do with Microsoft buying the global weather system. It just doesn't seem to be working right anymore, does it? I think it was one of those ones that got sort of covered up.
Yep.
A bit, yeah. Want to know more? Best of luck. Right. Want a solution?
Yeah.
Best of luck. Yeah. Okay. Well, I think that's it. So thanks everybody for watching. Hope we brought you a bit of interesting stuff to end the week on. We'll be back, of course, same time, same place next week, with more news to entertain you or upset you or divert you or whatever it does. Yeah, thanks for watching. Goodbye from me and goodbye from James. Him. So, well, we sort of had this. We've forgotten it, haven't we?
I totally forgot it. But I like the intro. I got to say, hello, James.
Right. Okay, well, now I'll say goodbye, James.
James.
Thank you for being here, James.
And thank you, Mel.
And also, James operates all the cameras, so he has to have thanks for that as well. So,
Certainly.
Thank you. Okay, until next week, we're out of here. Bye-bye.